Okay guys, we've got to put on our detective hats today.
And our flashlights.
We've got to get our magnifying glasses.
Yes.
What else do detectives have?
They're usually witty.
I'll handle that part, Sam.
I could handle it, I'm witty.
Don't overexert yourself. Guys, today we're trying to figure out what the hell's going on with GeForce Now, because it's definitely taken a bit of a battering. It's hitting some big strides. It's got some big numbers behind it, but publishers are mysteriously disappearing from the platform.
Yes.
And the question is why? Some new information has come out this week about why that might be the case. We're going to share it with you after the drop.
So okay, GeForce Now, it's officially emerged now as the beta. It's pretty cool. I mean, let's face it. You have all your own games. You can play them on there. No required hardware whatsoever. Free trial, and you can also play free for like an hour or something before they put you back in the queue.
Yeah.
And you only have to pay $5 a month, and you can just play as much as you pretty
I
much
think there's
want.
still like a
I think
limit
8
of like
hours or something, but like how many people are paying 8 hours more on a phone, right? So who knows?
Well, no, if you count like Cyberpunk on there, you want to play like big 8-hour sessions, whatever. It's a lot of internet, by the way. You better have some good internet to do that.
True.
Either way, it's a really great service. We've been fans of it. We can't play it yet, right? Because we live in Australia.
We're fans of it. We haven't played it.
No, but I mean, like, I'm
a
fan of the business model, right?
Sure,
I
me
look
too.
forward to that coming to Australia because I'm like, when that comes here, in 50 years' time, when we have enough internet to be able to use it, I'm really looking forward to that product, right? Of
course.
Because it's how this whole thing should be, as compared to something like Stadia, where you need to buy the hardware, you need to buy access to the service, you need to buy the games, and it still sucks at the end of the day, right? So it's a completely different offering that we really like because of the fact that it respects your existing purchases. We're really glad to see that it's arrived. It really comes in the middle of the whole streaming wars beginning, right?
Which is, yeah.
In the green corner, you have like Xbox and their Project X Cloud.
In the blue corner, you have PS Now.
Okay.
In the red corner, Stadia. Everyone hates that piece of shit.
And then the other green corner, you have GeForce Now. Okay?
Oh, there's
And
another
it's
green
there's
corner.
There's two green corners.
Oh, there is
okay,
two.
right? So it's a very hotly contested war right now, and it seems like people are starting to throw punches, right? Recently, Activision announced that they were pulling out from GeForce Now. This was a big surprise. This is Activision Blizzard, so all Activision Blizzard games were removed from that service. Came rather suddenly, and everyone's like, what's going on? Later on, it was revealed to be a misunderstanding where Nvidia didn't actually ask for permission to have those games on their platform, and so Activision were like, hey man, where's my dollary dues?
Give me my money.
Oh, I'm not getting paid. I'm out, right? And so
Totally.
they just pulled it from the service.
But then after that, right, another publisher has pulled out. It's our favorite, okay? Bethesda's pulled out all their titles except the best. But thank God, I'm so glad. Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Second best.
Okay,
Come on, all that we know, the jewel in
That's
the
very true.
crown. We know.
That's true.
Fallout
Good old
76,
76, ladies and gentlemen.
That's no longer
sadly
available
not there
there.
either. God,
Sadly,
it's a real
very-
shame. But it's kind of weird to see that they've left that there. Obviously, so many people were playing that. You see, they were like, well, we just got to leave that on there because like we just don't want to let down the
disappoint the
millions
fans.
of fans that are playing this game.
Yeah, exactly. So, so that Bethesda news also came as quite a surprise, and they didn't really explain why that was the case either. So we're kind of filing it under the same bucket as, well, we guess it's because of publisher agreements, and that was that.
Well, there's definitely a trend arising here, like, one after another that's happening. It can't be just they're having, disagreements. It must be about that there's not something in place that allows them to go to a mass audience.
Well, I guess there are really three potential reasons why this is happening. Number one, and I think one that's pretty likely, is that Stadia is flexing some of its muscle. Stadia does have agreements with Bethesda. We know that Doom Eternal is coming to Stadia when it releases at some point, actually, not at the normal release date. I think it's coming later. But they have an agreement in there for future Bethesda titles, and Stadia might have been pushing back and saying, hey, listen, we've got an agreement in place and you don't have one there. What's the deal? And then Bethesda were forced to respond. That is sort of quite likely, I think, given the fact that Wolfenstein Youngblood is still on GeForce Now. So if this was a broader Bethesda policy about, no, we don't have anything on GeForce Now, they would have taken all their games off.
Yeah.
They left some of their games on there, not Doom Eternal, for example, and I think it's to do with the fact that it's also coming to Stadia.
Especially with Stadia being in such a dire strait. Like, let's be real. If they were absolutely crushing it, they might be like, oh, whatever, who gives a shit? But, like, they need all the IP they have. They'll need all the IP they can to get people playing Stadia.
Sure.
And, of course, they're going to lean on the fact that, hey, we have a contractual agreement with you, so take that shit off.
The other potential reason why this could be happening is because other streaming platforms might have arrangements in place that we don't know about yet. For example, Amazon are going to announce a streaming platform at some point this year. We don't know when. And it's possible that they have a deal in place with Activision or with Bethesda or whoever else, and that stops that from happening.
Well, good old Jeff Bezos is, you know, we know one thing. He likes to dominate the market, okay? So it's a gigantic company. If they are in fact bringing something out, they might be, you know, signing contracts behind the scene too.
There's also rumors of a Steam platform coming in the future as
really?
well. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that'll be gigantic.
In November of last year, it was revealed that they have updated their terms of service with publishers to include something around cloud streaming. Now, it could be something else. It could just be the way that we're able to stream from our homes, whatever else. It doesn't sound like it though.
Well, you can do that at the moment, actually.
Correct.
With
That's
Steam.
the point.
Very
It
true.
might be that, or it might actually be an entirely new cloud streaming platform. It makes sense for Steam to go in that direction. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. So there's that.
Or it could be they just want more money.
Yeah,
it could be that.
It could just be they want more money.
We didn't actually mention that.
The most likely thing is that they want that these publishers want an agreement in place with Nvidia where it's like, if you're going to have our games on your platform, we want you to pay us. And there was actually a really interesting post on Reddit that I think sort of supports that theory. Mr. Pops posted on Reddit about this topic. He says, so I worked on GeForce Now and Nvidia games, and the way it was explained to me is that the issue is the game files being loaded on a server. Even if you plan to load those files so that someone with a license can play them, you're possessing and broadly distributing the game data on 500,000 servers is not within the terms of a standard license, so we need a special license. We used a number of giant Steam, Origin, etc. accounts with every game purchased for dev testing on a single instance at a time. However, we couldn't push to any servers without an explicit contract signed. Would it stand legally? No idea, but our lawyers seem to think that publishers would have a good case.
Yeah, so this is interesting. I mean, we don't know if he did work there and whatever, but if he did, this would be an interesting insight into it. But it's kind of like owning a Blu-ray, right? You can play it at home, but can you go and like play it in a cinema and charge, you know, $5 a month for people to watch it? No,
It's a different thing.
That's a different thing.
You need a license for that. Existing license agreements make room for that. As in, like, showing movies, for example.
Yep.
We don't exactly know what the current end-user license agreement for video games are, but it's logical to think that if you are going to make a game available on a platform like this, that publishers would have some sort of say in it. Now, I know a lot of people are very angry about this, and they think that it's straight up greed, and, you know...
Like Disney. Remember Disney?
Yeah, Disney charged, like, people who did a charity screening of, like, some Disney movie, and they're like, pay us $250.
It was $250, my God. Anyway.
So I know a lot of people are really angry about this, but I guess at the end of the day, like, the reality is that companies own their IP and they decide what they want to do with it, right? GeForce Now is a cloud instance PC. It's like you were renting a PC in the sky. It's like going to a net cafe and playing a game there, right? Except you're doing it in the cloud.
Yeah.
This, though, is at a much bigger scale. We're talking about GeForce Now has just passed 1 million subscribers and they've got 1,500 games on their database, right? This is a very big thing. And at this point, publishers, they're salivating, man. They're like, oh, I can make some money here, right? It would be great if publishers didn't have that sort of like nature. If they just said, yeah, cool, go gamers, have fun, do whatever you like. But this is the real world, man.
And this is companies, this is money.
This
like
is how they do, you know?
Especially with the fact that this is going to be a huge turning point in gaming. I think a lot of these companies know this. It's not like, oh, this is the next gen. This is a different way that people are going to interact with gaming.
Totally.
It's a different way to play games in anywhere in the world. So like, of course, these companies want to be saddled up contractually to make sure they can make as much money as possible.
Exactly right.
Know?
So as much as I would love it if these companies just let GeForce put whatever games on their servers, whatever they like, and I'm fully aware of all of the, oh, it's just a cloud PC, they've got no right to do this. I know all those arguments, but we also, I'm sure, could all agree, capitalism gonna capitalism, man.
Yep.
That's just how it is. And so, especially when the stakes are this high, you've got EA have already announced they're gonna do a streaming service in the future. They announced that years ago, and they're still working on that in the background. You've got Stadia, which is actually going free soon. It's going to have a free edition available as well.
Sure.
You'll still need to buy the games, but there's that. You've got Amazon service, you've got Steam, you've got PS Now, you've got Project xCloud. The stream wars are huge business, and so it's not surprising that these guys are fighting the way they are.
Definitely. Well,
Anyway.
maybe we need like a Bernie, like a free streaming for all.
That's right.
And yeah.
And once again asking for your
That's right.
license agreement.
Once again asking for your data.
I don't know. That was like a Trump action.
I don't know. That was a mixture there, guys.